It should be obvious by the deck title what I'm playing today, but this is going to be sort of a shout out to the one guy who was like, you should play this deck, and I was like, you know what? I just got done playing this deck, and I'm going to wait until Tuesday to show off what's going on. But this is Celebi EX with Charizard. It's pretty cool because Charmander has a nice attack that Charizard benefits from. Charmeleon has a nice attack that it benefits from. And it's just pretty cool otherwise. I'm trying to play down my hand / get enough Pokemon on the field in order to play Colress. I hadn't really decided what my course of action was going to be. But what I do have right now is I do have the opportunity to get all 4 Charmanders in play, which is not bad on turn 1, especially because I do have 2 Colresses in my hand. I do run Battle City just as a counter stadium, just in case people like to play their Veer Banks. Seeing as how I see a lead Sableye, it's going to be like a 95% chance to see Veer Bank City Gym, just because of the fact, you know, Sableye likes junk hunting the lasers, that kind of thing, with the Dark Claw and the Night Spear, and it just does a lot of damage. Charizard is one of those things that will fall to a Dark Claw and a Night Spear and stuff like. What am I trying to say? So Dark Claw and Night Spear does 110, and then in between turns it does 30, so you're at 140. If it stays asleep, and it usually ends up being stuck in the active, so you're probably just gonna end up being stuck to die. And this thing needs a lot of energy to run, but this thing hits like a truck. You guys are gonna see in a little bit. I don't remember if I zoom in on it. I think I zoom in on it at one point. I'm kind of bad at that because I was like, oh man, I'm actually using this deck. Time to see how it works. But I was hesitant to play down a Battle City first. I figure I might as well be the guy to put that down. I am glad I did it because I actually got myself a supporter for the turn. That was one of the things I was fishing for. It doesn't look like he actually has any Pokemon in his side of the field, but I can at least Colress for 5, and then looking at it, unless he like somehow gets a turn 1 Night Spear going on with that Darkrai, then I can just go ahead and evolve this Charizard. But look at that, he fucking does, and he's just gonna go ahead and take out the Emolga. That play really scared me. I was wondering what his hand was all about, but hey. So I just decided to promote this Charmeleon, and then I'm going to evolve it into a Charizard because that's a cool thing to do. What do I have going on here? I honestly don't remember any of these games. I recorded them all last week, but I can kind of wing at them. So go for Battle City, and then I'm looking, and I have 2 DCEs in my hand, and I've got some other stuff. But the one thing I do want to do is I want to set up the Darkrai to be able to be knocked out with a Scorching Fire in one shot. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to go for Split Bomb. Now, Split Bomb is an attack that does 40 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. So, not the best attack. Honestly, not the worst, but with Celebi in play, I can activate Time Recall and go for Charmeleon's Raging Claws in case he wants to hit me with a Night Spear. It'll do 140 damage because it does 50 plus 10 for every damage counter you have on you. And it looks like he's just going for the easy knockout. So he's going to go ahead and Night Spear my Celebi, which had prior damage on it before. If it had over 120 HP, I would be able to survive this. But I don't, so I don't. And that kind of sucks because it means I can't use Draw-In, which is Charmander's main attack. It takes 2 fire energy from the discard pile and puts it on it, which is really good. As you can see, the entire line is actually not too shabby with it. But I did have the second DCE in hand, and I'm going to be able to end out his hand. It kind of gets him the same size hand, but I get some more Charmeleons in play, and then I get an experience share on another one. So in case that active Charizard dies and it has more than 1 fire energy on it for whatever reason, I'm actually just going to be able to move it onto another one. I think I had a game either in this video or just a game happen in general where I had a Charizard running on nothing but fire energies, and when it died, like 3 of its fire energies just went out to the bench. It was freaking sweet. But I run Scramble Switch in this deck now because it's really nice to be able to move the DCEs off onto another one and then just be able to leave the dying Charizard there. Because it honestly takes a while to set these up. It takes at least 3 turns, assuming you have a fire and 2 DCEs, which isn't always the case. But he decides to Juniper out his hand because if he honestly like doesn't catch her and like hope that I don't have a switch and he doesn't get a Darkrai down, he'll be gone next turn because I do have a switch and I do have a Scramble Switch and I do have a fire energy in hand. I basically have everything that spells the end for his deck at the time being. So catches it in. I don't remember if he's going to end up doing... Okay, yeah, Ultra Ball is definitely the smart play there, just to make sure he doesn't end up losing on the spot. Gets that, and a Dark Claw, and I believe he's going to go ahead and Junk Hunt for 2 Dark Patches. Very scary. So what I'm going to do right now is just attach another energy to that Charizard, and then just manually switch out. I want to save that Scramble Switch for later, since this one's still good to go. And then I'm just going to go ahead and end out, but I'm going to do that same play I wanted to earlier, where I kind of set it up for a knockout. I'm looking to see what I can Super Rod back. It's not worth it yet. I don't know if I run 1 or 2. But knock out the Sableye, and I put another 40 on that Darkrai. Odds are he might have not drawn into them, into his Dark Patches. Kind of an important end right there, and then it turns out I end up waking up. Not that it really mattered anyway, because I do still have a Charizard in hand, and I do have a Scramble Switch in hand. So I'm good to go. I'm just going to go ahead and Scorching Fire and take him out. I honestly did not expect to win this matchup, because... I don't know, he gave me a couple turns at the beginning of the setup where he wasn't drawing anything, and then it turns out that he just wanted something to put his dark energy on, because he had 2 Dark Patches in hand. I was like, there's no way he's going to go from 0 to 3 energy, and he did. I was like, holy shit, that scared me. This one's against a acquaintance on the TCGO. We played each other a couple of times, and honestly, like, his decks were just a little too good for this deck. So I was like, you want to tone down the tier a little bit? Maybe we'll have ourselves a good one. This is equivalent to like a UU or an RU match, because this deck is in no way near top tier. So we'll see what we got going on. This was like our 4th or 5th game, because we were both like drawn like major ass. It was pretty bad. But that play I made last game where I get the 4 Charmanders in play and then get a Celebi, Emolga's a great starter in this deck, because in case any Charmanders fall, you can just get the other ones going, and it's good to go. So he's referencing in a previous game that that I was kind of drawing like crap. I decide to not burn up my PCOMs on basic Pokemon, and I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Just get 3 Charmanders in play. That way I can just evolve one on the next turn, and then just call for family and get the 4th one into play. But he decides to, I think, 3-card Colress, and I'm interested in his Victinis, because the idea of Victini in a Heatmore deck, or just Victini in general with a couple of other decks, could be pretty nice. So I do have 2 Victinis with some flex room. It's something to think about. This hand that has like 3 switches, I'm honestly not a fan of it, but looks like his deck is a little bit slow on the onset. I really like the idea of this deck, if it is the thing I'm thinking of. I don't remember. Okay, so he's got Manaphy in here because it's got an attack called Seafaring, or is it Seafaring? I don't remember. But you flip a coin. For each heads you get, you attach a water energy to one of your Pokemon. It's pretty cool, and the ability is not bad either. It's like a free computer search, so you just get to search your deck for anything. So it's its own variation of energy acceleration, and then at the same time you can do that until you die. You give up a free prize, but that free prize could honestly turn the game, just depending on what kind of situation you're in with energy. So he didn't get a lot of them right there, and I was like more whiffing than a perfume department in terms of my fucking draws. It kind of sucks. Gallade Victini is something we were talking about, and it seems pretty cool, because I was running Gallade Gardevoir. Still am going to run Gallade Gardevoir tonight at League. It's really fun. But yeah, I don't remember if he's going to switch here, if he just chooses to accelerate. He's discarding some energy right here just to be able to Seafare again, so I don't know if he's just going to let this thing die or whatever. But he's also got Veerbank in here as well, because Tornadus likes that shit with lasers. It's just those 3 cards together are Veerbank and Laser and like anything else. And I finally draw a supporter, which happens to be just for 3 cards. And then would you look at that, I draw into another Bianca, which kind of sucks, but I get his Veerbank out of there. Go for a Battle City, and it's not really something I can use, to be honest. Like, the only way to burn out my hand is to like switch 3 times and then catch her in the Tornadus EX and then just draw 6, which was like, oh my god, yeah. I didn't get anything. So he flips for Battle City, doesn't get anything, and I was like, I can't wait to show you my hand. And then it turns out he ends, so I was like, okay, well, I'm telling him right now that I had 3 switches. So I was like, shit, that really sucks. It just kind of reminds me of the story that I had at the one guy that I played at regionals some time ago, a couple months ago. The motherfucker had 3 Junipers in his hand, and I end him out of it. He either had 3 or 4, I don't remember, but he was using some reverse psychology to get me to end him out of it, because he was, like, showing everybody his opening hand. He even took a picture of it and, like, put it on Facebook. I was like, are you fucking serious? It's like, okay, this hand's probably really good, so I'm just going to end him out of it. And, yeah, I'm telling him right now that I don't really want to play Blastoise Keldeo unless it's got Black Kyurem in it, because that's a nice variation on it that people are running. And he just wasn't drawing anything good. So we were kind of chatting, whatever, sorry about that. But we'll see what his deck is more about in a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, it's either this game or the next game. But he lays no. There's a card I'm thinking of that I'm thinking is either in his deck or the next deck. I think it's in this one. And here on the Seafaring, he gets 3 heads, which is actually kind of impressive. I don't know if he has that many water energy in there, but look at that. He sets down a Tornadus and he gets it fully good to go. And on top of that, I still haven't gotten the Manaphy taken out. My energy attachments have been low to like none at all, because that hand with 3 switches was really dumb. So I'm gonna go ahead and put an experience share down on that Charmander. I decide to Battle City afterwards, if I'm not mistaken. Just gonna go ahead and attach a DCE to that Charizard, and then just play my Battle City immediately after that. So I can do that. I also have a Skyla for next turn. I think I'm probably gonna end up using that for a Colress, and I just choose to end my turn right there. So he says Tornadus isn't even the guy he's looking to hit with. I think he runs Lugia in this deck, which kind of scares me a little, but it's a really quick way to accelerate it, and then all you have to do is just smack down a Plasma Energy on it. In theory, Manaphy would be able to get 3 heads and then a Plasma Energy, and then you just be able to set down a Lugia and have it ready to go immediately on the next turn. But he Skyless for an Ultra Ball. I think he's doing this for his Lugia, and it works like a really, really, really ghetto Eels in that you just energy accelerate from the discard pile with Manaphy. So I'm like, oh shit, I see Lugia, I see Articuno. Both of those benefit from the Colress machine. So I don't know what he's going to attach it to. I'm kind of feeling that he may put it on the Articuno, but he puts it on the Lugia instead, just to be able to Plasma Gale with it. Plasma Gale only doing 120, which is what the lasers are for. You kind of whittle down the opponent's HP a little bit with the Veer Bank, and it only takes like 2 turns, two in between turns, in order to be able to like knock out just about anything with Plasma Gale. So all you really would be hoping for is just a heads on the coin flip. So right there, that was really stupid. Skyling for a Colress and then just drawing into a freaking a random receiver. That was really painful. But right here, I'm actually not going for the Manaphy. I'm going for all the EXs that are still at above 150 HP right now. I want to set all of them up for Scorching Fire KOs. And yeah, that's how that's going to work out. So if he wants to bring in something else, I'm probably just going to end up catching in something else. Catching in the Lugia could probably be the best thing I could do at this point. It would force him to attach something on that and then just go into that. And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to KO the Manaphy. No way. It'll give him a free card. So he decides to catch her in the Charmeleon and then just plays N. None of us has drawn any prizes yet, so thankfully I draw a switch off of that. And I do get a Scramble switch off of this. I don't think I want to use it yet, though. I was going to say the cool thing is that the active one has an experience share on it. But no, that doesn't do anything. If any of the things on the bench have an experience share, then I get to move that energy. But it turns out that my Charizard still has one. That's great. That's not bad. So I get to promote a Molga. I would have promoted Charizard right off the way, but I'll regroup immediately after. So get to PCOM out this and get myself a Charmeleon if I have another one. And I don't think I do. It's probably prized because I run a solid 4-4-4 line on this. I'll just get myself a Charizard for next turn. That's not bad. Go for Battle City with it, but I do have 4 energy on that Charizard. I could attach a fire to that, which is okay. I don't know why I honestly attached the DCE. I guess I was just fucking whatever. I should have just attached the fire and then just gone from there. And then once I ran out of fires, I would have just dropped the DCE. So going for a split bomb on that, and all of the EXs, everything on the field is now set up for an OHKO with Scorching Fire, which is not too bad. And if it turns out he wants to try attacking this and he leaves me like in a range of HP that I'm not comfortable with, turns out he's actually just going to catch up the Celebi. Kind of scary, but I do still have a switch in hand. So unless he has like a Veer Bank, no, actually all he needs is a laser. So Right here, I think he's hoping for some good acceleration off of this. He decides to Juniper off his hand. I think he should have lasered before he did that. Probably fishing for some Colress machines or something. I don't know. So yeah, there's a Colress machine, and it looks like he only has one water energy. He was probably banking on that and the Colress machine just to be able to attack this turn. I don't think he attached this turn. So he also had DCEs in there. So shit, that's actually what he was fishing for. DCE would have been great on that. DCE is great on Tornadus, blah 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 blah. And I actually just tried highlighting his deck right now because I don't know, like, that's not how it works in Vegas. You can't highlight his deck to see how many cards are left. But he's got 2 of them that are prized, which kind of sucked because it means he missed out on the knockout, and that's why he should have lasered on the previous turn. At least he would have taken 2 prizes, but now he doesn't take anything. So I get to Colress for 9 on this turn. That's always nice. Gonna go for the switch on this guy. Doesn't have any damage on it, which is still pretty cool. Get to attach an energy to that Charizard, and then I'm like, you know what? I don't really need to right now. Although if I did Colress right now, I probably would have gotten... Actually, I would have gotten 9 cards instead of 8. Unless he has another one to set down in between the turns. Like I said, I don't really remember this game. But as you can see, the Tornadus... The best thing the Tornadus can do right now is blow through unless he gets an energy attachment going on that. That Lugia is like huge catcher bait sitting there. And he actually decides to retreat and try to accelerate with Manaphy. Whiffs all 3 of them. How bad does that suck? That's really unfortunate for him, but not much you can do about it at that point. So kind of coin flippy in these things, but hey. So go for Battle City. Gonna put it on that bench Charizard in case the active one happens to fall for whatever reason. And do I P-Com? No, I don't. There's no sense in P-Comming, I think. So I just go for Colress. Draw a lot of stuff off of it. Still don't. Whatever. Gonna put on that Charizard because the active one is still good to go on energy. And then just Scorching Fire. So, not bad. 2 EXs in a row for 4 prizes. And I get my prize Charmeleon, so I can work up that other one. Got the 1 Charizard in the active spot doing the dirty. Got the second one on the bench, good to go. And then the third one is on the way now that I actually have the full line back in my deck. And he fucking ends me out. This is bad because in order to draw in energy from the discard pile, it turns out I actually need fire energy. And he gets rid of my one hope of like drawing more cards off of this. And he accelerates 2 water energy. So he kind of turned that around in 1 turn. I'm just like, shit, wow. So I definitely had the game in that hand because I could have just captured up that Articuno, I think. Or the Tornadus. I don't remember my hand. But I think I zoom in on it because I'm like 170 HP. Yeah, good to go. And I fucking top deck a Colress. So I'm going to use my catcher on the Articuno. And if I draw a fire energy, it is all over. And it turns out it's one of the very last cards I draw. So I'm letting him know right now that I top decked this thing. And I was like, holy shit. That could have gotten really scary really quick. I think I fought somebody that was running Articuno Garbodor, but I don't think it happened to be in the video. But that's the second game that I had with this deck. It's pretty cool, you know, three EXs in 3 turns for a 6 prize game. And we're just going to go ahead and go on to the next one. I think this guy is playing Crobat with Veerbank and some other garbage. Y'all know how that works. But I get an Emolga. I get my lone Emolga, which terrifies me. Because 70 HP is not the kind of thing you want to have down as your only thing on the field. Especially when your opponent can go first with Tornadus and Veerbank and Laser for 90 HP. That's solid, and it terrifies me. But I don't know what he's running yet. Thanks to Plasma Storm, it's pretty likely that some shit's going to be running Veerbank and Laser, though. So, whatever. What do we got? We got 2 things on the field, and my 1 supporter is an N. Not terrible, but hey, what can you do? And it turns out I get to go first. Yes! So I N out, and that's it. That's the thing. I had a lot of energy in that hand, but I get the Charmander, and I put down the Battle City. I would ordinarily put that down immediately after, but I want to get into stuff as good as I can. I want to get the jump on the Crobat, and yeah. So Call for Family, get some more, and I can't really play my hand down much further without burning up a switch, so I think I'm just going to N out on this next turn again, in case he tries to like Ultra Ball or Pokemon Communication for a Crobat. As you can see, he's Ultra Balling, and he's ready for it, so that right off the bat tells me, oh, you got a fucking Crobat, or you got a rare candy in your hand. That's nice, you know. It's a shame that I drew into an N and everything, because otherwise he'd probably be able to do something about that. On top of that, Waste his supporter. Well, I'm not going to say waste his supporter, but he does want to keep the Crobat and the rare candy in hand. So he goes for Skyla for a Hypnotoxic Laser. It's the perfect opportunity to get rid of the poison and, like, play off of the thing in case I wake up. It would mean that I would have to wake up, though. And I don't think I do, as a matter of fact. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and straight up and out. Both just to go ahead and get me new cards and to get rid of the only two in his hand, which happen to be a fucking Crobat and a rare candy. So I get 2 Charmeleons in play, and I do have a second Emolga in hand. I don't know if I want to put it down just for the sake of like switch treating and getting rid of the poison. There's absolutely no point to it though, because then I just I call for family and then I have a fully loaded bench. I don't know why I did that. I really didn't have much of a need to do that, but I guess it's nice to have 2 things with free retreat on the field, so that way I can just switch treat. In case one of these dies, it's kind of whatever. It's nice that the only card in my hand is an N, because if he starts to get a little too greedy, then I can just kind of go with that. But Ultra Balls his hand down. I'm like, oh no, what if he doesn't have any supporters left in his hand, and then I have to end him out? I give him a hand, and I give me a hand. That sounded a little gay, didn't it? I'm sorry, that's not how it's supposed to work out. But he... Oh my god. Oh, wow. So, evolves into Golbat, and yeah, just going to go ahead and X-Ball me for knockout. I do still have the experience share on the bench, so that's nice. Actually, not too bad that I put down that other Emolga, because it gives me time to get going. So, I don't want to give him a new hand. That's the thing. So, it turns out I top deck that Colress. That is absolutely amazing. I get to evolve 2 Charizards, and he still hasn't gotten to a Crobat yet. And on top of that, I get the Charmeleon, and I get to... I think Golbat only has a 1 retreat cost, despite how bulky and ugly it is, I guess. I get a Bianca for next turn, which is kind of cool. Can't really use the Scramble Switch. Can't really use the Catcher unless he plays down another Mewtwo, but he opts to Juniper right now. If he puts down something heavy, I'll Catcher into it to buy me some more time, because that's all you can really do with this deck until you get set up. And fucking look at that! The one thing I wanted him to set down, something with a pretty high retreat cost, just force him to burn a switch or to burn some energy. And it turns out he plays an Escape Rope, so I'm kind of curious as to what I'm going to do here. I decide that the best thing to do is to probably put down that Charizard, because if I can just... You know, kind of, I don't know. I don't know why I promoted that one. I probably should have promoted my Charmeleon or the Charizard that actually has energy on it, because he's just going to get a free X-Ball off for 40. And, I don't know, it's like, oh, fuck, gotta click something that's not Charizard, other Charizard, shit. So, what am I doing? Am I actually going to make this play where I DCE and then Catcher and then Scramble Switch? I guess so, and I'm just moving on to that, and then just Bianca for a full 6. Kind of a weird play on that one, but hey, look at that. I got 3 Charizards in play, and happy days. Not bad. So, get 2. I think I'm not going to OHKO it, because that would be stupid. I'm actually just going to go ahead and opt to Split Bomb. Nip that Zubat in the bud before it's actually evolved, and I get myself... What is with Charmeleons and prizes? I don't know. That's like my 4th Charmeleon was in the prize of the last 2 games. Whatever. So... I set the Mewtwo up for a knockout and take a prize, not too shabby. So, the other thing I can do on this next turn is I can just whittle away at everything that isn't Lunatone, because I know I'm fully capable of taking it out in one shot. Mewtwo scares the shit out of me in this deck. I figured I would just let you know, because, you know, X-Ball can be fatal most of the time. Decided to PCOM, see if I have a Charmander left. Turns out I do. I think I have a prize Charizard, but that's something to worry about for later. And I decide, fuck it, you know what, might as well end. See what I can get from there. And I just wanted to come into some more energy, which I do, and it's not really worth drawing in. Or it's not really worth. I can't draw in, so I don't know why. I guess I'm just attaching to the other one just to be able to Raging Claws with Charmeleon. I did a really bad job of zooming in with a lot of these things, but oops. So right here, I get to play my hand down again. I normally don't get to, but I mean, with Pokemon communication, you get rid of a useless Pokemon in your hand, and you get rid of the communication, and you just put down the Pokemon on the field. And he wastes his fucking Scramble Switch to get out of there, because he knows I'm just going to go ahead and set up on him. That was actually kind of funny. Right here, he finally gets a Crobat in play, and as long as I can draw a catcher, I think we're good to go, just to keep bringing in the Lunatone. Kind of a bad thing for him to bring it in there, but hey, you know, the Premonition combined with Ether and, well, not with Pokedex necessarily. Ether and Premonition is pretty cool. Because Ether, I still never figured out how to say it. I would assume it's Ether. Right there, I'm going to attach to that one because Raging Claws is pretty cool. Get his Veerbank out of there, and I'm going to go ahead and Colress for a whopping 10 cards. Very nice indeed. So I think I put an Experience Share on that, put an Experience Share on the other one, and I get to Pecom out the Celebi, get it out of here, get another Charmeleon in play. All the while, this man only has one Crobat in play, which is kind of the main mode of thing in this deck. So right here, I am going to go ahead and I think I go for the kill right on this thing, because I cannot have this thing getting loaded up with energy. It's going to go ahead and knock out like every single thing I have. The only way he can knock me out is if he has a Veerbank and a laser in hand, or if he gets a another DCE on that Mewtwo. Now, I don't think I've seen him play any lasers this game. I think he played one, as a matter of fact. Just the one laser, I think, on the Emolga. So he's got 3 lasers floating around somewhere, hasn't hit him for whatever reason. But as you can see, X-Ball is going to do freaking 120 damage, and there's the DCE drop I was looking for. I don't like that. But both of the Charizards on the bench do have experience shares, and this is what I was talking about. If there's more than one fire energy on the active Charizard by the time it dies, usually in circumstances like this, then you get to put one onto each one of them. I didn't know that was how it worked. I thought you could just only activate one experience share at a time. But it's not bad, so you get to do that. I normally don't run more than one experience share, but the fact that you get all that energy on the field and then it just freaking goes away, no, I don't like that. That's stupid. So I'm going to opt to promote that one just because it's got the least amount of damage, it's got the most amount of energy on it, and I think I'm catching up the Lunatone on this turn, or the Giratina. I'm feeling either one. So Lunatone probably would have been better. I just decided I didn't really care in that moment. So I'm going to go ahead and split bomb the Mewtwo and the Crobat for no real reason on the Crobat whatsoever. Sigilyph is just kind of dead weight for him because, I mean, I'm running the 1 EX, but I sure as fuck don't like plan on attacking with it because it's like 3 energy for 60 and you have to switch. That's, I don't know. Someone will probably find some use for that. I haven't found a use for it yet. So he's just building up that Crobat in the background. I don't have a way to play my hand down with Bianca now, which kind of sucks because you actually draw into stuff that you need at this point. I don't have any way of accelerating this stuff without like discarding it, and I don't have any. I think I run maybe 1 Juniper in this deck because a lot of the cards I need in this deck are actually kind of essential, like the Fire Energy, the DCE. I suppose it would be nice to like, I don't know, Ultra Ball away the fire energies and then just draw them in as the attack in order to get 3 energy on the field in 1 turn. I just haven't really figured out how to play like that. I figured because this deck runs a lot of Pokemon in the first place, that communication would be better instead of Ultra Balling stuff away. So, get to go ahead and switch out to that and then just decide what I want to do after. I forget. I think I'm just putting a DCE on that one because the active Charizard is good to go to still split bomb and just kind of troll everything he's got going on there. So another one on that, another one on that. If I can set up Mewtwo for a Raging Claws KO, I think that's what, Raging Claws. If I can set up for a Raging Claws KO instead of anything else, and oh shit, we see a laser. So he was saving his lasers, I guess, for late game. Ugh, I've already burned up all the switches in my hand. I don't like that, man. I guess he was just waiting for me to bring that thing out because it's the only thing I've got a lot of energy in at the moment. The bench Charizard has the potential to attack next turn as well, but I don't want to lose that active one without it not doing anything. That's such a waste of time and energy in both senses. The me clicking to attach the energy and the actual energy. There's a lot of energy on that Charizard, and I don't wake up, and I draw an N. The best thing I could hope for right now is to N into a scramble switch or a regular switch. Both would really make my day, and it turns out I don't get anything. So, on top of that, I still haven't woken up, which really kind of surprises me. But, whatever, I'm just going to go with it. If the Giratina drops a DCE, then he's got me on this one. There's not a lot I can do about it. The thing is, I see 2 DCEs on that Mewtwo. I think there's a third one in the discard pile from when I knocked out the other one. And he goes for an Ether. It turns out, I honestly, well, I should have expected Ether because of Lunatone. And that's honestly what he needed. He just needed 2 energy down on 1 turn. And he gets to recycle. I don't get to see what he recycles. I've been playing that card weird. I guess I would... Oh, no, he does have to show you. Okay. I was actually showing my opponent at League what I was putting down on the top of my deck. And he lasers right here. I thought that was kind of silly, but if his last card is a Bianca or a Juniper, then it's not really that weird. But hey, the fact that he wastes like his last laser like that, that's not bad. So bad for me anyway, because I mean I can just Super Rod, and then he just decides to X-Ball kill for a whopping 180. God damn, way too much damage. So get another one off on that, but that's all the experiences I have going on. So getting a Mulga in play, and I'm trying to think about what to do here. I do have a catcher and a switch and a Bianca. I don't need to switch. I'm looking, and I don't need to play my hand down that far either. So I'm going to go ahead and attach an energy to that Charmeleon, and I believe I'm just going to go for the kill on this thing, because this thing is probably the most threatening. No, I'm just Raging Claws, and then that turns out that's an even kill. Okay, so I actually don't even have to discard for Scorching Fire. Not bad. That 50 plus 10 for every damage counter on it. I guess that's what the split bombs were for, setting it up for that. Oh, that's right. That was the thing I was talking about, like, not even 5 minutes ago. I'm so stupid. So, get my prize Charizard. This is very nice and very cool and somewhat important, because I think this is the game where I use all of the Charmeleon Charizard line, all of their attacks, which is not bad. So the fact that I got that prize Charizard was pretty cool too. Otherwise, I would have to like wait for my Super Rod, and at that point he probably would have ended up winning. So he Junipers his hand away. I did not want him to do that. I can't see how many cards he has in his deck for some reason. I don't know if that's a problem with anyone else. It was a problem all like that morning. I could look at the discard pile just fine, but it wouldn't let me mouse over and see how many they had, and it was just a little annoying. So he's gonna Super Rod right in my face, because that's a fair thing to do. Put back the 2 Mewtwo's I worked so hard to take out, and unfortunately with the Veerbank and the whatnot, in case you guys remember how Ultra Toxic Fang works, it does 100 damage because of poison and attack damage. Kind of sucks. So right here, I do need a turn desperately in order to be able to draw in with Charmeleon. Otherwise, I am in big trouble. So what I decided to do right here, catcher in something that doesn't have any energy on it, and then I am looking, and yeah, I'm just gonna have to draw in. So gets me 2 fire energy from the discard pile, and I don't know if I have another one in my deck. So the one thing I have to do next turn, I'm looking and I have 4 cards in my deck. So if I want any hopes of winning, I don't know whether or not one of them happens to be a fire energy. The one thing I could do is if I draw a Pokemon, I don't remember what's left in my deck. I think that's a possibility, that I just put the Pokemon back in my deck and I see if I have any fire energy left. Because if I Colress, I'll dry out my entire deck, but I will get a knockout at the end of the turn. And I will have actually played out my entire deck. But it's a thing. It's a thing that'll happen that's actually kind of cool. So I think one of my other options is I could... Does that Crobat have 80 or 90 damage on it? So I could just split bomb that. I think I just opted for the fancier kill, and it turns out he gets the laser. I thought that was all of his lasers, but I guess there was a last one in there. So great, I get to play switch, And he's got this, and he just decides to ether onto that. And I think he's skyling for a switch now, but his deck is pretty low, so he doesn't have anything to work with. I think that Giratina's stuck, guys. So if you're looking at the prizes, he's got 2 left, but he doesn't need, like, this Charizard is my last line of defense. If this thing gets knocked out, I've lost the game. So turns out I wake up and I get my Super Rod. So I'm just going to put 3 Fire Energies back in there, and then just fuck it, just Colress. I think I'm just going to Colress right here. Am I? Yeah, I think I'm, yeah. So I'll definitely draw a couple of Fire Energy. Turns out I had plenty of them left, and I just get to Scorching Fire for the direct knockout on Giratina, drawing my last prize, which was that cutie Skyla. Oh my lord, that was 3 games. These were post-narrated, in case you couldn't tell, but I know that the problem that you guys have with post-narrated videos is, oh, you only upload 1 battle, they're short, and it's like, oh, okay. Is that how we're gonna play it? So I got 3 videos. Hope that kind of tides you all over. You had enough time to eat your lunch, dinner, whatever meal of choice you choose to eat when you watch my videos. Anyway, that was a video. If you guys enjoyed it, you're more than welcome to leave a like rating, comment, and subscribe, and do your thing. And that was it for TCGO today. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Goodbye.